Steps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Reetz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shedding crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue, through the silence and the roar. Still blue, even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Bridge echo through my chest.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. welcome once again to another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I do hope you're all doing well. Today we'll talk about Alejandro Garnacho getting closer and closer to joining Chelsea Football Club. We'll talk about Xavi Simons, where we are with that particular deal. We'll talk about Christopher Nkunku to Bayern, Monique Renato Veiga to Villarreal, and a whole lot of other stuff we have lined up. And be rest assured, even if by any chance we're able to exhaust all the topics we have lined up earlier than usual, then we'd go news hunting as we usually do here. Because, yeah, chances are as the show progresses, a lot more stuff will emerge that is worth our time to discuss. But that's, by the way, we have just one person in the chat section. He said, "Hi, Lukman Ademola Lawal." I'm not sure why I'm not seeing that comment on the main screen here, but I'm seeing a comment from Riyadh, my friend and bro. He not a comment really. He reshared the post on X, but thank you for finding the time to join. Riyadh, are you the one that goes by the name Lukman Ademola? I'm not too sure, but nice to see you, Riyadh. I do hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining the conversation. Yep, and once again, we'll talk about Alejandro Garnacho, Xavi Simons, Christopher Nkunku to Bayern, Renato Veiga to Villarreal, and Carney Chukwu Emeka to Borussia Dortmund. A lot of other stuff we have lined up here. And without wasting much of your time, we'll start addressing the first item there. Vince quoting Jacob Steinbach. And that particular report reads, Chelsea do not intend to panic and sign a defender for the sake of it, despite Maresca saying on Friday he wanted a replacement for Levi Colwell. Chelsea's position is that they have depth and they will move only if someone suitable is available. Because, yeah, it just doesn't make sense to go sign a new player without taking the time to check and be sure the player fits the way the manager likes to approach the game. It just wouldn't make sense to go sign a player for the sake of it. Which was why when some people mentioned signing Mark Guehi, and I told them, look, if we're signing Guehi, it'd be because maybe we need numbers, not particularly because he'd be coming in to replace Levi Colwell, because it's not anything close to what Levi Colwell, the sort of player Levi Colwell is. They're different. Guehi is more of a traditional CB, while Levi Colwell is a ball-playing CV with excellent passing range and vision and all that. I'm not saying Guehi is a bad defender, but he is different. But let's see. I'm all for that. And his thing, the truth remains, even before Levi Colwell's injury, I think I remember also addressing one particular report from Fabrizio Romano, which said something to the effect of Chelsea that the club will look to sign one more defender. So the absence of Levi Colwell means that the club will definitely sign at least one defender, and which was why I said the manager, what we heard, the briefs that came from the, you could say, that were released after the manager's public comment that he definitely does need that he needs a center back. For me, more like a subtle way of retracting the manager's comment to ensure that we don't come across as desperate. Because if that happens, then the selling clubs they will definitely ask us for an arm and a leg. Did I say that correctly? Am I losing it this morning? But that's by the way. I think definitely we will sign a center back. But at the same time, I'd say that I believe we're not going to do that in a rush. It might be towards the end of the transfer window, but I think we're definitely signing the centre back because we wanted one even before Levi Colwell got injured. So I do believe this. But let's see what happens. Who we end up signing, I don't know. We have one name there, one of the tabs. We will address that name once we get to that particular tab, and then compare him to Levi Colwell, compare his numbers to that of Levi Colwell, and see whether he'd be a good replacement, or maybe he'd be able to operate just like Liverpool did when he was fully fit. But that's, by the way, the second report there, also by Vince, quoting CF Bayern, which reads that Chelsea are willing to sell Christopher Nkunku to Bayern, but to Bayern Munich for around 35 million pounds of plus add-ins. I mean, he served us a bit. Still, that's a little less than how much we paid for him. But at this point, I know it's again it'd be difficult to recoup the exact amount we paid for him or anything above that because yeah, he's not been he had you could say he hasn't played a lot since he joined Chelsea. Unfortunately, that's where we're at with his own situation. So, but there's a good player in there. But again, something I've said before, it wouldn't make sense for him to stay at the club because, yeah, as a number nine, he lacks something very important to the way the manager likes to approach the game. He just cannot press. So, irrespective of how well he did for us in the United States during the Club World Cup, still, if he cannot press effectively as a number nine or eight, or even when he's deployed on the flanks, I think he struggled to get minutes on that Enzo Maresca. So yeah, he'd be better off leaving. Excuse me. So yeah, we have Stephen Moore. Stephen Moore says, "What's the latest in Garnacho? It looks like it's going to happen, and I think nothing new except the last thing we addressed, which was from transfer guru himself, Fabrizio Romano, something to the effect of negotiations going on behind the scenes between Chelsea and Manchester United. That's a disparity, I wouldn't say slight disparity, because not yawning, but at the same time, not small. There's a disparity between the valuation of Manchester United valuation of Garnacho and Chelsea's valuation of Garnacho. But I think we will eventually, at the end, get him for the price we want to pay, because he's made it clear he wants to join us. He actually went to the extent of saying, if United don't sell him to Chelsea, that he'd sit for 6 months plus without playing. Correct me if I miss again if that wasn't what he said, but something to that effect anyway. But that's by the way. So eventually we will get the deal across the line, and he's a good player. And for context, it's something I've said to people here. I did say to people 2 days ago or so. Take a step back, go compare his numbers to that of Real Madrid's Rodrigo. Yeah, but unfortunately, for some reason, people just want to be part of the campaign that hates Alejandro Garnacho for no reason. And when you ask them what he's done wrong, they just mention the behavior of his 16-year-old brother on social media, which really just doesn't make any sort of sense. But that's by the way, we have 42 people following the show, and we have just 5 likes. I think we can do a lot better than that. But here's the thing, because we're streaming in a vertical format, usually people don't easily find the bells and whistles, which includes the like, comment, and share options. So here's what you do. Press and hold your screen for just about a second. Then you see the bells and whistles, the like, comment, and share options. Help us garner more likes, which will in turn trigger the YouTube algorithm and force it to push the stream to more people who'd be interested in the topics we have lined up. So more likes, more likes, more likes, people, more likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. 39 people right now. If half of you can take a second and like the video, would have at least 15 likes. All right, what do we have here? And Stephen Moore says, do you think he will be a good sign? I think he will be. I think he's a bit different from all the wingers we have right now. He's very direct, and he's actually a very good player. It's just that we live in a world where you could say it's just easy to join a campaign without really knowing why we're part of it. Yeah, why we want to be part of it, just to feel a sense, you say, that sense of belonging. Unfortunately, he's a good player, and he's still 20. I think he will, as he ages, he matures. It's really that simple. And I like his attitude as a player, on pitch attitude, to be fair, to be more specific there. I don't know him personally, and I don't just want to hop on the train of people saying he has an attitude issue. What attitude? Nobody tells you anything except mention his 16-year-old brother's behavior on social media, and that's that. Not that Chelsea's Chelsea fans' resentment of Garnacho, not even it's not driven by not for football reasons actually. Yeah. So for me, I think it'd be a good signing. Yeah, it'd be an excellent signing for us, and a lot of people would be shocked how well he would do. And for context, once again, I'm going to tell you this: take a step back, go compare his numbers for the 24-25 season to that of Real Madrid's Rodrigo, and then you'd learn a lot. It's just that he's again. I'm going to go to the extent of mentioning what Dante said here. His looks is also an issue. A lot of people just cannot look beyond his looks to you just look at them as a footballer really, or maybe the campaign against them, the so-called attitude issue, which nobody has come out and said, okay, I've seen him do such thing, which is, yeah, society condemns such behavior. Nothing like that, except once again, the behavior of his 16-year-old brother on social media. And Elliot here says, I love Chelsea. Elliot, good to hear. Again, good decision. Yeah, imagine being the fan of another club or supporting another club other than Chelsea. Um, all right, here a bit of education for you here because we're swimming in a vertical format. Press and hold your screen for just about a second, and then you see the like and comment options. Swipe up to go full screen. To enjoy the stream in a vertical format, please keep dropping the likes on the stream. 6 likes, we should be doing a lot better than that. And we are 21 minutes into the show. Yeah, usually when we stream in the vertical format, people find it difficult to find the bells and whistles, the like, comment, and all other options and share options. So yeah, Alejandro Garnacho for me, yeah, I think he'd do well at Chelsea. I'm not concerned. If you say he has attitude issue, you have to be specific. And please do not mention his 16-year-old brother's behavior on social media because yeah, he's not Alejandro Garnacho. And that's by the way. And I think he is not stupid. I think he'd be hearing everything people. Again, he's seeing everything people are saying about him on social media. By the time he joined Chelsea, I think he'd take corrective measures. It's really that simple. And he's 21. Correct me. At most 22, but I think he's 21. Shay Wendy, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding time to join the conversation. I do hope you're well. Yep, 44 people and 8 likes. I think we can do a lot better than that. Let's see if we can get 100 likes today. I don't know how we'd finish the stream with 11,000 views, 10,000 views, but yeah. And then the likes will be, the average for the like will be, I think it has been around 40 or 38 actually. But I don't blame you guys. That's usually the case when we stream in a vertical format. A lot of people are not used to that format. Wendy, thank you for reposting the stream. Sincerely do appreciate that. More importantly, I do hope you're doing well. So this particular report, Chelsea are willing to sell Christopher Nkunku to Bayern Munich for around £35 million plus add-ons. Good deal, and not. I don't think that measures how much we paid for him, but that's fine. He served us a few games, to be honest, but still, could have been worse actually. It's just that they know he's a good player and are willing to pay. Well, you can say I think they'd be willing to pay something close to 35 million. I don't think they paid 35 million. But let's see. Even if we sell him for 30, I'd be okay with that. Because remember, he again he's been injured. How many times since he joined Chelsea? I think more than 2 occasions, up to 3 occasions, and every time he got injured, he stayed out for a while. And yeah, for me, let's see. And I think that opens the door for the completion for Chelsea's to be able. That will help Chelsea to complete the signing of Xavi Simons, which for me, I'd say will be the most important signing for us this window for reasons we've talked about here at length. He reduced the creative burden on Cole Palmer, and he's an excellent creator. And as good as he is, he also contributes a lot defensively. And he's traditionally a 10, capable of playing on either flanks. He's that good, really. And I think we will eventually get that deal across the line the moment. But you could not largely. Maybe it doesn't mainly depend on the departure of Nkunku, but that helps a lot. Not necessarily Nicholas Jackson, no, But let's see what happens there. I want this to happen as soon as possible so we can get the Xavi Simons deal across the line so he can start training with his teammates. I think that will go a long way. So 48 people still following the show, and we're still stuck on 8 likes. We can do a lot better than that. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing all the comments I'm seeing on the right hand side. Elliot saying I love Chelsea. Golden Kenny saying hi, and also Luito Katota saying hi too. I can't see that on the main screen. I'm not sure why. Maybe the EVMux application is having some issues. I hope they fix it. It's become quirky, very, very quirky of late. So Christopher Nkunku to Bayern is a real possibility, and reports suggest that we're already in conversation with Bayern, which is a good sign. They want him, and I've always known it'd be difficult for Nkunku to go back to Leipzig, which had again which down to the fact that he earns a lot, and Leipzig they don't pay a lot of money, and I don't see Nkunku accepting a pay cut to rejoin Leipzig. I knew that was going to be very difficult, even though he'd already said he said publicly he did say according to report that he's open to the idea of returning to Leipzig, but I knew that was going to be difficult given how much he's earning currently. They don't pay a lot there. Bayern, yes, they can afford that. They can actually afford to give him a pay rise to it's an acceptable measure. I don't know what's acceptable to him because I don't work for him. But that's by the way. Then Xavi Simons. We're not going to let this last too long because yeah, there are games today, and I know a lot of people would want to go watch the game. The league started yesterday, an exciting first game of the season actually. Goals galore, I would say. But that's by the way, this particular report, Vince here quoting Platigo, it reads, Bayern Munich have made concrete inquiries for Xavi Simons in recent days, but the deal is very unlikely to happen for several reasons. Most importantly, Xavi currently remains fully focused on the move to Chelsea. That makes a huge difference. And this particular the second paragraph of this particular report, the reason why I made a YouTube short video telling people that no, Manchester City cannot hijack a Xavi Simons deal to Chelsea, move to Chelsea Football Club. And it's really that simple. The player wants to join Chelsea and Chelsea alone. And when that's the case, you can force a player to join you. I think even Bayern wanted him, and they've tried again of late, probably because the negotiations have dragged on. So they felt like maybe they should try again and see if it's running out of patience and maybe decide that, yeah, he's no longer going to wait for Chelsea. But he told them again his focus that he just wants to join Chelsea and Chelsea alone. So they had to, again, turn around. Arsenal wanted him to. So for me, I was never concerned. It's just the media, the Twitter journalists, you could say maybe, yeah, big accounts. They knew already. They know that yeah, we're vulnerable because they seen what's out there. They realize that we're concerned that that's a chance we'll miss out on. The deal will fall through. So they just exploiting our vulnerabilities by putting it out there that Man City have joined the race to sign a Xavi Simons. When I saw that particular report, I knew it was absolute horse dung. I knew again because Xavi he's made it clear in public that he wants to join Chelsea and Chelsea alone. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing your comments on the main screen, but I'm seeing the comments from X. I mean, YouTube comments I'm not seeing here. I'm not sure why that is the reason. So I'm going to refresh the system to see if that solves the issue. So please bear with me. Right, let's see if I'm able to see. I'm still not seeing all of them. I'm not sure why that is the case. Uh, it's concerning because I like to read, interact with your comments. So your account, I'm in the right account, which is this one. So why am I not seeing the comments? But I'm seeing comments from X, not comments from YouTube itself. So I'm not sure why that is the case. But that's by the way we move on. I'll find a way still interact with you because yeah, that's how we operate here. So I'm not sure what's going on. So let's see. Hopefully they sort it out. That must be a YouTube issue. All right, let's see what else do we have here. And oh, how do I say your name? Duru Christian. Duru, I think it's a Duru, definitely an Igbo name. Mr. Duru, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the conversation. I think it's fixed. Coach, my coach, and that's the Yaka South Africa. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. It's been a minute, and I hope your absence simply means that you've been busy. If that's the case, I'm happy for you because, yeah, bills don't pay themselves. All right, what do we it looks that solved refreshing the system actually solved the problem. So I'm happy. We roll. But the issue is that the previous comments aren't showing on the screen. So apologies for those of you that yeah, I'm not able to see your comments on the main screen to read it, but nothing to be too concerned about because five of you, all you say, yeah, just said hi. But that's by the way, Siaka, South African, nice to see you. So Xavi Simons, here's a player I want for reasons I've explained. But for those of you who just joined in, I will go through the reasons why I want us to get the Xavi deal across the line. One, he's an excellent creator, has good vision, good passing range, and usually players as good as Xavi Simons, they don't do a lot defensively. But he is so good that he contributes a lot defensively, even wins balls a lot in the final third in the opposition half, and also drops again defensively or on it again in his own half. He does a lot and can orchestrate defense splitting passes even from his own box in his own box. He's that good, and you could argue. Yeah, not argue. Actually, the sporting directors and the manager, they know all that, which is why they are pushing to get the deal across the line. But it's been a bit complicated given the fact that Leipzig paid around 60 million euros plus, and PSG does have a selling clause. They inserted a selling clause in the deal, which means Leipzig would be looking to get something uh, north of 16 million euros, at least to make a sizable gain. So it does make sense. But the fact that Xavi wants to join Chelsea and he's made it clear to them that he wants to join Chelsea, that complicates the situation for them. It'd be difficult for them to get how much they're asking for. And we have Shapulous TV says, would you rather okay. Jesus Christ. I'm not reading that for you. I'm not sure why you're asking such a question, but I'm not gonna read that for you. Let's see what else we have here. Tomorrow will be Chelsea's three will be okay. Tomorrow will be Chelsea 3 versus Crystal Palace. Okay, Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1, Mr. Duru. That you're predicting the outcome of the game. Let's see what happens. All right, let's see. What else do you have here? Siaka South Africa said, I have a few Xavi feeders playing He's on fire. Yeah, but if you listen, I advise you to also watch him play live. Don't rely on video clips alone. Look at his numbers also, because yeah, numbers and video clips and eye test complement each other. You don't rely on just one of them alone. But he's an excellent player. If it's not that good, Bayern wouldn't have actually attempted to sign him. And for me, I'm happy that he wants to join us. I'm happy that he's waiting for us, not in a hurry to leave him. Because yeah, probably maybe we promised him we really do need him, but we're trying to get a good deal. If we get him, I'd go to the extent of saying we'll be challenging for the title. Honestly. Um, but that's by the way. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. We have 8 likes. We can do a lot better than that, but we still have 53 people following the show on YouTube. If half of you take a second to like the video, we'd have at least 25 likes. But I get it. It's usually difficult to get enough likes when we stream in a vertical format. A lot of people aren't used to that. But here's the thing: the secret is majority of our subscribers found us through our YouTube Shorts. So it's only fair that we cater for them when we go live. But that's not to say we're not we will no longer stream in the landscape format. We will. Like when we do a lineup prediction exercise, we'll do one letter in the day today because we have 2 shows scheduled for today. This particular show, and then the Chelsea Crystal Palace preview show, which will be later in the day. All right. Yeah, that's Arashi. I know that's you. You've changed your name to Matthews Cunha. Let's see how well he does for Man United. Crystal Palace ain't easy. You're gonna struggle. I don't again, they're not easy. And that's a fact. They are their manager, he's an excellent tactician. He's proven that. Who did they beat in the FA Cup final? Man City, right? Was it Man City? Then at Charity Shield, they beat Liverpool. And Liverpool were 2 goals up. Was it two goals? Yeah, they were 2 goals up. And they came back and still beat them. But Houston, their manager is an excellent tactician, and it you don't take him for granted. It will not be an easy game. But I trust Enzo Maresca. He's a quick learner. It was again the last time we played them. Yeah, we did find it difficult actually, but I'm not that concerned. I believe the manager can he should, but here's one thing actually about them. They don't play in a particular way. The Crystal Palace manager, what's his name again? Very adaptable, very adaptable. Switches the way, changes the way they play to adapt, to be able to deal with the opposition. And he's, you could say, I wouldn't say he's arrogant. He'd tell you that if you play the same way next time, you're losing. Yeah, but nice to see you. And Markin Neum, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation this particular morning. Thank you. Chelsea Football Club 2, Palace 0. Okay, I'm not sure what the outcome will be. I'll try to predict when we do the preview show later in the day today. We got Arsenal to handle. Not going to be easy also. But Amorim, you've signed practically all the players he wanted your hierarchy to sign for him. So I expect him to beat Arsenal, and I'd love to see that happen. It's a possibility, and probably he knows how to handle Gyökeres very well. But let's see what happens. Man City, yeah, in that final, they would have to drop Enzo Fernandez for Simons to shine. They're different. Enzo Fernandez, I get it. We've used him on the Enzo Maresca mainly as a 10, as one of the 2 10s, but he's more of a deep line playmaker. And believe me, I get it. He's gotten goals and more goals since operating since under Enzo Maresca. But the truth remains, I think he'd be more effective for us as a deep line playmaker. But that's just my opinion anyway. I don't know what the manager, how he'd handled the situation, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Right now, I'm not concerned. I just want us to sign Simmons. I like him, and I love Enzo Fernandez. Actually, to be unlike, watch Liverpool last night. How lucky they were! Lucky. I think they look like they're gonna struggle a lot this season. It's no excuses for Amorim. Yep, you spent a lot of money for him. This Simmons is overrated. He was a wonder kid. He's not overrated. He's not overrated. Maybe you don't know him well enough. But that's by the way, we have captain of the community in Constantine Dunju on the panel. Yeah, lack of discipline is his biggest problem, but we're working hard to teach him how to be disciplined. That to big up to you. I do hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining me on the panel. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, big up, coach. Yeah, good, good. Thought I'd be a little bit late just so I can, show my discipline. So, yeah, very good.
So we haven't talked about a lot. We just talked about Chelsea not being interested in not being in a rush to sign a new defender. Okay, and talked
Mhm.
about Christopher Nkunku potential move, possible move to Bayern. The clubs are in direct talks right now, according to a few reports yesterday. And then we talked about, yeah, how much you were asking. Is a 35 to 40 million euros fee is possible. And then Xavi Simons. So wherever you want to come in before we move on to the next item, the floor is yours.
Yeah, look, Nkunku, hopefully that, Bayern looks like we've actually started talks, which is great. We talked about that yesterday. Just as we were wrapping it up, Fabrizio tweeted that, yeah, they started talking. So, yeah, look, good news. They should, Bayern have money, so there shouldn't be a problem
But they don't
just
pay
about
that much
getting
for
the.
players. They hardly pay a lot for
Yeah,
players.
they do. They just paid 75 million pounds or 70 million pounds for Luis Diaz from Liverpool. So
They paid that
they
much money
pay.
for him.
Yeah. It was 70 million pounds, which is like nearly 80,000 euros. So
80 million
they paid
euros.
a lot of money for Luis Diaz. That's overpaying in my opinion for Luis Diaz, especially
But
he's
it's
a
not, you can say it's not their thing, really. If you look at all the players they've
look.
signed, they
If they
usually
want a
find,
player, they pay. It's very simple. They've got plenty of money. Money's not a problem for them. Uh, they've got money to spend. It's not really a problem for them. So if they
but they're
really
not going
want
to
a
pay too
player,
much for
they'll
Nkunku, though.
pay that money and they'll get very close to it.
They're not going to pay too much for Nkunku.
Yeah, I don't know why. 'Cause that's a position they need. That's the type of player they actually need.
But
So
has he been
they
playing?
probably just run it.
Has he been playing? And he's not been in the greatest of forms, if we're being honest here.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's true. But the Bundesliga is a little bit different, and you put Nkunku in a league that he knows really well, that suits him a lot better. You're putting him in a position where he actually plays his best, from what we saw at Leipzig. Yeah, he should be able to shine. So it's for a player in his prime, it's not that expensive for him. They should be able to pay that. He's still a France international, basically. So yeah, I think he'll do well in that system, especially with Harry Kane up front and him, next to Harry Kane. That's a perfect position for him. So let's see what happens. But obviously, we just need to move these players as ASAP. So hopefully that gets done quickly, even if it's not quite exactly how much we want. Anything close to it should do the job. So hopefully that gets done.
And then, Ed, do you have anything to say with regards to the report that we're not in a hurry to sign a CB? But here's the thing: the funny aspect of this whole thing, even before Levi Cole got injured, at the start of the transfer window, Fabrizio did release a report
Yeah.
suggesting that we're looking to sign one more CB.
Yep.
So even as a club pretend, yeah, we're not desperate to sign one. I think if selling clubs are paying attention, they'd know that yeah, we definitely do need a CB. But I want to get your thoughts on the report that we're not desperate for one. I think we are. I think we're just trying not to come across as desperate.
Exactly. I don't think we're desperate. I think we have to, find the right player, and we're gonna obviously been doing that. Like I said yesterday, we looked at Dean Huijsen. Let's not forget at the start of the transfer window, we really wanted him. We went for him, so we were looking for a centre back. And remember during the season they kept saying, we still want one centre back. That was always out there that we want another centre back. So um, Dean Huijsen didn't happen. Obviously, he chose Madrid. Fair enough, but they definitely were that after that type of profile of a centre back, because Dean Huijsen is that type that can play that CCB, that ball playing defender. So yeah, look, I think we were still kind of looking. He was number one choice. We couldn't get him. Then we kind of cooled off a little bit, and then obviously we know what happened with the injuries. So that's kind of, I think, in a way, forced our hand a little bit.
Hmm.
And yeah, let's see what happens. But I definitely think yes, we're looking for the right guy. The problem is it's late in the window now. Maybe they changed their mind, because let's not forget we had Saar that came in from Strasbourg, but he went back on loan. So we did have another CB there that can do that, and he went back on loan for reasons just to continue his development. Probably, maybe he wasn't quite ready or needed more minutes. So with Maresca, they probably decided to make that call to send him back and just get a lot of minutes, starting minutes, because he's going to be a starter at Strasbourg for all the games. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but yeah, I think we will end up looking at someone. It's just the club don't want to put it out there. They're not going to put it out there to sound desperate, like you say. So yeah, look,
But
I
you can
think
say it's a bit too late. It's clear we need one. We're looking to
yeah,
sign one.
we do. Yeah, we do. I mean, I always thought we need one anyway. I kept saying that we probably need another one anyway. Obviously, with Maresca coming out and saying he wants more of someone that can play CCB, so that rules out quite a lot of them that we were linked to because of that. So yeah, I did speak about Taylor Haywood Bellis yesterday, and looks like that's come out quite a lot today. A lot of people, there's a lot of links to him um, about that player. Like I said when I sent that list to you, he's one of those. Dean Huijsen was on that sort of list. Taylor Haywood Bellis was on that list. So that's the profile sort of Colwell's sort of role. So see what happens, but I think we'll try. We'll definitely try to get one. Can we get one? Is one available that we want that fits the system and fits what Maresca wants? That's another story to see if we can find. But I'm sure they're going to work in the background um, to try and get one, of course. But exits are key. Like I kept saying, exits are very key. We need to move the exits, get some players out first for that to even happen as well. So I think they're busy working on those at the moment.
Yeah. Just quickly, this comment from Martin Neum saying Simon's profile is like for Enzo Fernandez. Absolutely not. Simon is traditionally in 10. Enzo Fernandez traditionally a deep line playmaker. I get it. He's operated quite a lot as one of the two tens under Enzo Maresca. But believe me, I'm going to say this actually. He can. You will get a lot more from him as a deep line playmaker. But I think he's
Yep.
you could say more of a hybrid now under Enzo Maresca because he crashes the box and all that. But let's hear you. Anything you want to add to this before we give back the microphone to those in the chat?
Yeah, look, nothing like Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez comes from deep as well. Let's not forget, he still drops back deep and then builds up.
Yeah, and the manager still uses him like that because of his ability to control the tempo of dictate the tempo of the game.
Yeah, and we both, like him as a deep playing playmaker, but he's evolved past that. Maresca's made him into a CM box to box, and it's made him more effective for scoring goals and assisting. He had amazing numbers last season, especially for the assists. And yeah, he still drops back. He plays that role, and then has got the capacity to run now all over the pitch, basically, but to run and make those late run boxes, which is probably the hardest to defend for defenders um, and midfielders that try to cover him because he's, like I said, he's got that capacity now to make those runs and run back and go up and down, basically box to box center midfielder. So yeah, look, he's more effective that way because he makes late runs, and it's worked very well. It's been pretty hard to pick him up a lot of the times because
Yeah,
he's
because
deceivingly,
he
yeah, a
arrives
lot of
late.
he arrives late, yeah, and he's deceiving as well. The way he moves and runs, he looks slower. He doesn't look quite as, but he actually covers like I said, he's number one for like kilometers covered in the game.
Yeah.
He's number one. Him and Cucurella are the two number one. So he covers a lot of kilometers in the game. So that's very hard for defenses to handle, especially those late runs for midfielders to keep up with him. And then defenders have to worry about him making late runs. Always have to keep an eye on him. So it's a very important position, which I think Maresca is going to try to do. Andros Santos try to mold him into that as well. We've seen he's kind of been more of a direct replacement. Xavi Simons will not be that because he won't play that central midfielder like you said, deep line playmaker. He doesn't come back and do those things. He'll drop back, link up every now and then, but he's more of a forward than a midfielder. Whereas we know Enzo Fernandez is a pure midfielder.
Yeah, he's more of traditionally a 10. I think that's another way to say it. Let me give back the microphone to those in the chat. I'll come back to the panel. We move on to the next item we have lined up here. And Sam Ono says Simmons isn't overrated. Environment and management matter, just as Dembele. I think that's another way. But I know how Markim speaks whenever he talks about players. He can be blunt, but yeah, it's his opinion, and that's why we're here to have a conversation and try to arrive. You could say make a sensible, arrive at a sensible conclusion. Someone says if Josh Acheampong played for another club, displaying the quality we've seen of recent, we'd be beating for him already. We don't need to sign a CB. He has the maturity, technique, and IQ of an elite. I agree with all those things you say, but if what we're looking for is like for Levi Colwell, that's not Josh Acheampong, and I still don't think we'll send him out on loan. I don't think so. Maresca likes him and he's trusted him in big games, and he didn't disappoint. The only time I've seen him come across as nervous was his debut in the Conference League. But after that particular game, subsequent games that he played, he was excellent. He didn't look out of place even when he inverted. When you see him in the midfield area, even though he started as a defender, he was just perfect. And I don't think I don't think we actually send him out on loan because there are a lot of games to play. So we're not looking for his type. We're looking for Levi Colwell's type of player, and it's not that. Irrespective of how good he comes across on the ball, I don't think he has Levi Colwell's passing range. I think that you could argue that's one of the most important, you can say, skill that the manager is looking for the new signing. But Dante, let's hear your thoughts on that and the comment on the screen.
Yeah, look, he's not really, a CCB. He's not really. You're gonna put him in that middle of that defense to lead, to lead that defense and organize the defense. He's not at that level. I rate Josh Acheampong a lot, but he's not at that level. He's not ready to lead, that defense and keep those lines. And yeah, look, against lesser opposition, maybe, but not against most of the teams we play in the Premier League and even some of the teams we play in Europe as well. He's too young for that. He's not ready for such a big role. Yeah, of course, right centre back he can do no problem. The left he can, but he's more of a right centre back / right back. Definitely not a CCB. That's a lot of responsibility to throw on a young kid like that. And we saw even against Leverkusen, he made a couple of mistakes. Nearly led to a goal, one of them. So yeah, he can run out, but he runs out quite a lot. He really leaves his defensive duties quite behind a lot. So he's not ready for that role. There's no way Maresca would put him in there, as a starter. It'll be a massive risk, and it's not good for the player because he makes a couple of mistakes, his confidence drops, and you're setting him up to fail if you're going to put him in there like that. So I don't think Maresca will do that, to be honest. I think he's going to integrate him slowly, and he's going to play more of those right centre back, maybe some left centre back, inverting into midfield, like we saw him do quite a lot in the Conference League. So yeah, I don't see him as a CCB, that's for sure. I think that would be pretty harsh to put him in there, and the fans will absolutely rip into him if he doesn't do, and obviously into Maresca as well if he puts him in there and doesn't play well and makes mistakes. And we've already
Yeah,
seen him. He tried him a little bit. He put him on there, but every time he made quite a few mistakes playing there already because he just wants to get out and run, and that's because he's more of a right back than an actual centre back.
yeah, he's not that profile, and it's really that simple. If I don't know, I've heard people say sign Guehi, even when the topic is Levi Colwell's replacement, they still say sign Guehi. Guehi cannot replace Levi Colwell. He doesn't come
No,
close to the passing ability of Levi Colwell.
but he
He's
hasn't got
more
the
of
height either, coach. That's why he doesn't really
exactly.
play that
He's more of
central.
a traditional defender than Levi Colwell is. And if we're signing Guehi, it'd be because for another role, not that Levi Colwell role. It's unique.
Yeah, where he's a left centre back, right centre back, no problem in a two man. But being that middle guy in the middle, I mean, you got to have a bit of his, you got to be up quite a bit tall to have that role as well because you're responsible for a lot of the balls that come in to intercept those balls in the air as well. So that's not Guehi either, unfortunately. So yeah, although I love Mark Guehi, I think he'll still be a great signing. He'll suit for us, but not for that role that Maresca now is described quite a lot. So definitely for not that middle guy in the middle of a back three. No.
All right, more likes, people. We have 84 people following the show on YouTube. I'm not sure why it was stuck in 14 likes. Yeah, because we're streaming in a vertical format. People usually find it difficult to find the like button. Press and hold your screen for just about a second, then you find the like button. In total, we have 221 people. 77 on YouTube. Rest but shared between X and Facebook. Whether equally, Coachella doesn't know. So yeah, my community say we don't need more CBs. Tosin and Acheampong partnership can fix this. It's not that simple. It really isn't. But everything comes down to what the manager wants. But we'll see. PSG and Madrid was sniffing around last summer too. He's good enough to play. Nobody's arguing against that, and I think he stays. If he leaves, it'd be because we don't want to risk him staying and not play enough to continue developing properly. And we've heard already that Bournemouth, they've tried twice to see if we're looking to sell him. We're saying no. We're not at the moment. We're not even considering loaning him out. That's how much you like him. Acheampong is ready. Nobody's saying he isn't, but that's not what we're looking for. Acheampong is better than Chalobah. They're not the same. Still, but he does come across as more comfortable on the ball than Chalobah. I have to say, honestly, but Chalobah is more experienced. But I don't think the manager will prioritize him over Chalobah. No. Enzo is like Kroos. Simons is like Mudryk. The best description, yeah. And I like this guy already. Do you see that, Dante? He's
Yep.
he's crowning himself. I like that. Ono, Sam Ono, yeah, yeah. That's an excellent description. That and as simple as it can be. I mean, it will again. The average football fan will look at that comment and understand how they differ. Enzo is like a Fabregas. Yeah, that's another good one. Simmons is like Madrid. I agree. That's another good one. Enzo can actually. I told people when I said that people were laughing. I say he can actually surpass Fabregas' Premier League record because he's quicker and has excellent passing range. Everything comes down to how the manager uses him. But the signs are good, and I'm happy. So that's by the way. Let's see what else we have here. The big that's a Cole Palmer. Okay, Cole Palmer. I'm not so cold. The big Chelsea is winning the Premier League. I'm gonna okay. Going to score 20 goals. You, Cole Palmer, will score 20 goals. I can't wait to see that. Sorry, I wasn't able to read that. Josh is a third choice right back and fourth choice centre back. If we sign a centre back, there's no minutes of a Josh. We have to send him out on loan. I wouldn't mind that. I don't want us to because for selfish reasons to decide to keep him and then he ends up not playing enough to continue developing properly. Josh Replay, Jimmy, nice to see you once again. I do hope you're doing well and thank you for joining the conversation. You cannot have 6 CVs fighting for 2 positions. Okay. But the demo not nice to see you. If we send Josh out on loan, then we do need a new CB. No, even if Josh stays, we do need one more. Remember, the plan has always been to sign one, even before Liverpool got injured. Acheampong is baby Tosin. Similarities, ability on the ball. Acheampong, is he more agile, maybe?
Yeah, way more agile. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
More
and he's got a
agile.
quick acceleration. Yes.
Mhm. But you could argue, yeah, the similarities is probably looks, maybe, and ability on the ball. Let's see what else we have here. Big up to you too, Tommy Bryan. Nice to see you. Dante, you sound like this other Australian gaming YouTuber. Is that your burner account? Go away, man. Just leave us alone. We
No,
have a
Tommy,
show
no,
to host.
definitely not.
All right, playing in for competition this season, and people are saying that Josh won't get minutes, but at this age, he needs to be playing a lot, week in, week out, to continue developing. which was why you can argue he was reluctant to sign a new contract. But Wally Waldo, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. And thank you for 21 likes. It looks like people taking the time to like the video. Let's see if we can get it to at least 50 today. To be honest, Colwell wasn't a central center back when he first started. Maresca actually trained him to play that position. Really, I've not been paying attention. Acheampong is better than Mark Guehi. They're not the same. I don't think the comparison is necessary. Guehi is more of a traditional center back. Acheampong is more of a ball playing, not even a center back. Actually, more of a right back than center back. The club is considering reintegrating Renato Veiga. That's Samono. We already have Hato, and we haven't sold Badiashile. We're not buying a left center back. Colwell's position errors were calamitous early last season. He learned. He learned a lot. Maresca brushed him up. But dang it, you sound like you're Dante's brother, or like you and him had a meeting. He would say the same thing. It seems like a CFC is not desperate for buying Garnacho at all. Why would they be? He wants to join us, but I think we will get get the deal over the line. He's told his club he wants to join Chelsea and Chelsea alone. And if they don't sell him to Chelsea, he'd sit it out, creating serious problem for them. So yeah, but let's see what happens. What else do we have here? Anything else? I think I'm gonna scroll past some of a few of the things you have here to get to the very bottom. As much as I like to interact with you, yeah, if I just keep reading like that, that'd be all we do for the rest of the show. The world and what they say they are. Simmons, he says, Simmons, it will be a mistake for him. He's not gonna get time over Enzo. They're not the same. I think they will operate differently. Enzo will still play, and we have a lot of games. Simon Simmons, for me, I like him for reasons I've explained, and he brings balance. And I'm going to say something I've said before here. Every other player we have playing, operating as 10, are players that specialize in playing in other positions, but are capable of fulfilling the 10 role. But in Simmons, you have a player that's traditionally a 10, but capable of playing on the flanks too. Plus, something else I've said, as good as he is, usually players as good as Simmons, they don't contribute a lot defensively, but he does. So go look at his numbers. I think that's one of the main reasons why we want him. Have a buyback clause for Mark Guehi. Yeah, I think we do. Or sell on clause. I'm not sure. Dante knows what that is. Simmons and Enzo shouldn't be compared with each other. Two completely different players. That's how I see it too, Wally Waldo. And thank you for saying that. Let's see. Well, okay, just having a good conversation there. And Rugged Frankie, it's been a minute. I do hope you're good, but nice to see you once again. Good morning to you too. It's a beautiful day. That's the truth. The coach shouldn't look inwards. Inquiries happen to give way for others to showcase their abilities. Any news on Simmons deal? We could say still on it. Still in it. Bayern tried, you could say, hijack it maybe. They made inquiry. The report we have on the screen, which reads, Bayern Munich have made concrete inquiries of Xavi Simons in recent days, but the deal is very unlikely to happen for several reasons. Most importantly, Xavi currently remains fully focused on a move to Chelsea, and he's agreed personal terms with Chelsea. So all that is left now is for us to sort things out with Leipzig, and he'd be a Chelsea player. Okay, and not Enzo Simmons would be our creative midfielder. Yeah, he's more of a, again, he will reduce the creative burden on Cole Palmer. It happens to everyone, so you're not alone in that one. All right, so I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, and then I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. Sorry, I just cannot get everything as much as I like to interact with you. Simmons could play as a DM. No, I think you'll be asking too much of him. And he's probably not going to be happy if you ever ask him to do that. Simmons' speed and close dribbling will be key against low blocks. Yeah, I agree. He shoots very well too. In tight spaces too, he finds a way to shoot. Testa, okay, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Good afternoon to you too. Thank you for joining the conversation. we should focus everything on Simmons. In my opinion, he actually wants Chelsea and isn't throwing his dummy to the floor like Garnacho. I'm not sure what you mean throwing the dummies to the floor. But that's, by the way, I don't know. Bobby, you've heard the topics we've talked about. You want to come out, talk about anything you've heard us talk about before we move on to the next topic? But big up and thank you for joining the conversation. I do hope you're doing well.
Hello, Coach.
Yeah, big up to you too.
Yeah, the whole Simmons thing. I've got to say I'm quite bored with it. I think it's just dragged and dragged and dragged, albeit there's reasons for it. Um, I find it quite interesting. It seems to me that we're sort of slightly waiting for players to be sold in order to create space to finish his deal. Now, all these people who think there's this big demand for the likes of Nkunku, even Carney Chukwu who I'm really glad that Chelsea have taken this stance on Dortmund, because it seems to me a lot of people think Chelsea are just there for us to give them our players for nothing. You know, those days are over. That gravy train has ended. You want a Chelsea player, and man, you got to pay top dollar now, and or at least pay a decent amount.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad of of their position with Dortmund, but we've got to be realistic in understanding that these players are not that highly sought after. We've been hearing Nkunku to Bayern for ever and a day. If Bayern really wanted Nkunku, they would have paid and got him by now. They're stalling because they're looking for other options. You know, so we need to understand that these players that we're sell him, sell him, sell him, sell him. It's a matter of who wants him, or who wants him, who wants him. They're not that sought after as that we think, which is what I'm beginning to see. So we'll wait and see. I still maintain that there should be a way for Renato Veiga. The Maresca has made it very clear he needs and wants a central defender. Veiga, centre back. Veiga, as far as I know, is that. Now, unless there's something we don't know that has been said and done in the background, I don't understand why he's not being reintegrated back into the team in the absence of Colwill. It serves a benefit to everybody concerned. But we wait and see. But I think there's a lot of delays with these transfers because we are struggling to get rid of certain players. I won't even talk about your Raheem Sterlings and Levi and Ben Chilwells of this world. We know why it's difficult offloading them. And they are at the moment shafting Chelsea for money. You know, can you blame them? I guess not. But that's the reality that we find ourselves. So, with what, 3 weeks or less of the transfer window left, we need to get these deals moving. You know, we just need to get them moving. The reality behind that, well, time will tell. But we should drop the illusion that everybody wants these players, because they clearly don't.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. Always nice to have you on the panel here. And what else do we have? Am I missing anything? And while am I a Chelsea fan? And what do I think Chelsea will finish? I can now say until the transfer window shuts. And I've said we're not gonna do that until we see we're done with our transfer activities. Dortmund are well known for buying low and selling high. Bellingham is a perfect example of that. Yep, Wally, you got that right. He needs to move on. I think he's talking about Veiga, I think. And Martin is saying Veiga cannot handle that kind of pressure as a CB. He's not technical enough. He's highly technical. but I don't think he can actually. He doesn't match. He doesn't match Colwell skill for skill. He can be a good centre back, skill for skill in terms of passing range. Um, I think other aspect I think is good, but what Maresca is more importantly, I think the passing range is important. If in fact we're talking about Colwell's replacement, but that's just my opinion anyway. Let's see.
So who do you know in world football could fit that profile
Mm,
practically
mm,
immediately?
uh,
Unless we call
the,
back Thiago Silva, which
Thiago Silva,
will be
even in terms of
interesting.
passing range, isn't the same as Colwell. He's just more experienced and more other aspect of defending, like reading the game. But Colwell, he has a passing range of a midfielder. Honestly, and I do think that actually Renato Veiga will again, if he plays consistently as a centre back, he'd make a better centre back than him. But if you're talking about ball playing, Levi Colwell. Passing range, I don't think Thiago Silva can measure Colwell. As you know, again, but other aspects, leadership, reading the game, aerial ability, Thiago Silva is better.
I
So
don't think Thiago Silva's passing range is bad at all.
I'm
I
not
think
saying it's
he's quite
bad,
good at
but
that.
I'm just saying I don't think he measures Colwell in terms of passing range and vision. Honestly, that's just me.
Okay.
Dante, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's not quite that type of player, but he's obviously got all the other attributes that you need from a central, defender. So, yeah, he's definitely not as good as passing like that. He does the
Well,
short passing, simple stuff very well, but not the not really the line breaking, all those other more type of passing that Maresca wants to start attacks when especially against low blocks, wants to start attacks with that central defender. So that's not really Silva's game, to be honest. So no, I agree with you exactly. Yeah.
I
and
know
what names come to
it's not
mind? What
prudent.
give me the
This is the
name?
thing,
Mhm.
who can then fill that space for Chelsea? I know it's not prudent to start dishing out names because if we are going to go for somebody, it needs to be a short, sharp, quick attack for financial reasons. But the problem I'm facing is who out there can do that job? I can't really think of any. Well, not that I know every single player
Dante,
out
does
there,
any
but
come to mind for you? Bobby asked me
Yeah,
that question, but yeah, to you.
we did talk about this yesterday, Bobby. So I did send coach a list as well of potentials. Uh, it's tricky because
Even Hincapie, right?
yeah, Hincap is sort of around there, but he plays more on a left side centre back. He likes to go out wide. He's not really a central, in the middle of it. So yeah,
And
that's
you
why I
mentioned
don't really.
Alexandro.
Yeah, Ribeiro can do that very well.
And
Definitely
see,
Ribeiro.
just quickly, see how Ribeiro compares to him. Ball
Yeah,
carrying, Ribeiro much better than Levi Colwell. Forward
yes,
passes a lot better. Passes in total, slightly better.
who is Ribeiro? Who's Ribeiro? Who does he play?
Plays for in the French league. What's the club again? Lens,
Lil.
no? Lil. Better aerially.
He's a centre back for
Progressive
Brazil, Bobby. He's a
passes.
starting
Yeah,
centre
I
back
think
for Brazil at the moment.
that would be a perfect replacement.
It would be,
It-
but he's
mhm.
the only thing with him. He's a little bit more mature, a bit older, which is not a bad thing, but depends. I think he's 26, turning 27, so that may be because of that. Is he available? I think you can probably definitely get him from. He's definitely going to move to a big club next his next move. Just depends what the player wants as well. He might want to be the starter. It depends. That's why it's very difficult at the moment, especially late in the transfer window. It's a bit difficult. Yeah, look, there is some players that would fit the role very well, Bobby. So one of them is Taylor Harwood Bellis from Southampton. Now he's very, very much similar to Colwell. Amazing passing range, height, physicality, and young English talent. Very good player. Exactly the same. tier as Colwell. Stats, everything very identical. So he's one to look out for. Obviously, he was in the Man City Academy as well, another Man City product. So those links are there already. So someone like that wouldn't come in, because it's very hard to bring someone in because they know you're replacing him for Colwell. Is you're bringing in a starter to play to over Colwell, or you're bringing someone that to fit the squad and rotate. That's why it's a very hard one to who you're going to bring in and how you're going to, which player will accept that as well. So, but someone like Taylor Howell-Bellis, I think, would be a perfect signing, just because metrics, everything exactly like Colwell, and I don't think he'll make too much of a fuss, to be the starter. He'll compete for it, but wouldn't make a noise, as in you can probably sign him. He would make that move, and there wouldn't be much complaint or much trouble with that.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else do we have here. And I'm an Arsenal fan. For many years, you think that Arsenal made a good decision signing Nani Madueke. I
Very
don't
good.
know if I can be truthful here.
Very good decision. Amazing.
Listen, there's a good player in there. Just start at the. There's a good player in there. I'm just going to leave it at that. If you're
He's
able
not
to
a
get
Chelsea player anymore,
consistent,
coach. You can have your honest opinion on him. Come on.
yeah, if you're able to get him to perform consistently, I think he'd serve you well. Heston, two things. I'm gonna say that start with Dante's. If he can start to look up whenever he's on the ball and try to release the ball as quickly as possible and not hesitate, try to dribble his man unnecessarily, I think his game will improve. Something else, he should try to be a little less selfish and be a little more selfless. If he can do those things, I think he'll become a much better player. He has very good dribbling skill. But I think chances are Arteta might be able to fix him, because those aren't very difficult. But for some people, it can be difficult to change them to start being a little less selfish and a little more selfless. And then also to look up when they're on the ball, because that's a habit one starts when they start learning how to play. It's possible. He's still young. He's not that old. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But that's, by the way, our special unveiling at the bridge. Unveiling at the bridge tomorrow. Fans asked to arrive early, not to miss it. Could it be Simons? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
No.
Let me not just try and speculate here. Did Veiga play left centre back for us? I think so. Conference League. He's played left back. He's played. I don't remember, DM for us also. I can't quite remember all the positions he's played for us. Laporte. How old is he now? Probably not going to happen.
29 or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. I wanted us to hijack the Leone deal. Not gonna lie, but I honestly cannot think of anyone who can cover what Colwell does. It's different, but like the guy who looked at, he can. The little guy, Hincapie close. Learning Sa was a huge mistake. No, I don't think he's ready, because if the French league is Okay, Gianluigi Donnarumma could replace Ederson at Man City. That's a strange one for me. Big up to you too, AB. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining the conversation. Maybe Bastoni, but that's a massive if. You just answered your question. Massive if he can do Colwell's job. I don't think he can measure Colwell's passing ability, in my opinion. Ribeiro is very, very good, to be honest. That's an excellent option there. What Silva was already got. Silva, not anything close to Rudiger. Not anything close to Rudiger. Listen, Silva isn't the most physical. Even in his younger days, he wasn't the quickest. What defines his playing ability mainly is his footballing intelligence. For example, he might not be the quickest on the pitch, but he reads the game so well that you're guaranteed that he'd be at the right place at the right time almost always that you won't even get a chance to rest against him, let alone outpace him. I give him that. But in terms of passing range, honestly, I'm not saying Liverpool is as good as Silva. I'm just saying in terms of passing ability, honestly, I give it to Levi Colwell. I don't even need to measure it. But then again, it's important to say that's my opinion, and you're entitled to your own opinion. Levi Colwell will not. I don't think he'd measure right now, currently, maybe in the future. I don't think he can measure Thiago Silva's, even at 70. He can measure Thiago Silva's overall defensive ability. He cannot, because he cannot read the game as well as Thiago Silva. He's not close to being as good as Thiago Silva aerially. He cannot. Maybe in the future, because he's still very young. I'm not saying, but currently he cannot. But in terms of passing range, I will bet my money on it. Colwell is much better. Maybe not to go to the extent of saying much better. He's a better passer of the ball than Thiago Silva. Honestly, that's just my opinion, and you're entitled to yours. I get it, and that's why we're here. If we all agree, then we don't have a show. The second Ecuadorian option, Hincapie, that plays as a hybrid, and Estupian, that's more of a CB but can also play hybrid. I'd rather Hincapie. That's just me. Let's get Xavi Simons. I think we'll get that deal across the line. Is that Evangelist or Evangelist? Godwin Denson, nice to see you. Mikey Noom says there's not many world class left centre back right now. Wow, some argument. Hincapie would be a good option, but Leverkusen has already said he isn't for sale. Yeah, they understand probably his value can only increase. Coach, do you know the players who doubt the squad and the coach? Okay, as some fans and myself as well. Now that we have to make it, we've made it to the Champions League. Wish they were part of the squad. I don't wish any of them were part of the squad or still part of the squad, because yeah, they jumped ship. That's how I see it. But Shay Wendy, thank you for that comment there. I appreciate you. Let's see what else we have here. Levi's passing ranges like that of a midfielder. Honestly, that's my opinion. He can play in the midfield area. He has excellent vision. As long as you make the run and he's on the ball, he'd find you. But Renato can be trained and given specific directions and functions. We need an imposing defender at the heart of our defense who also has an EPL experience. I wouldn't say Renato has EPL experience. How many games has he played in the EPL? Zilch, maybe, if anything, one or two. I'd rather Big Rudy back, to be honest. I don't think we'll bring him back. You could argue, I get it. He had to leave the way he did for personal reasons. But yeah, at the same time, he burned the bridge. Being quick and being a baller are two different things. Yep. You obviously didn't watch Silva at AC Milan. I watched him. I remember what I said is that he's never been the quickest. The, what defines his playing ability the most is, you could say, his footballing intelligence. He has never been the quickest. Dante, if I'm wrong here, just correct me. And at PSG2, I did watch him. He actually, remember, we played a two leg game in the Champions League against them too. Silva's passes contributed to goals. I'm not saying he's. Listen, I don't know what else to say here. But Dante, what aspect of this particular comment did I ask you to comment? At AC Milan and
Not sure,
PS.
coach,
Yes,
but
has Silva's pace actually.
yeah, pace. Obviously, he hasn't got that pace. No, no. Obviously, when he was very young, if we're talking about when he was, in his 20s, that's a little bit different. His pace was different then. Even then, he wasn't that quick, but obviously he was much quicker than obviously when he's in his mid 30s
Definitely.
to 40. Of course, a
Everybody
big
much
difference.
quicker when they're younger.
Yeah, he was a little bit quicker, but nothing. He's still more of. It doesn't matter. He was always, a more calm, reserved, old school centre back that scans the field, positional play. It's all about positional play with him. So he's got the IQ. He's got one of the highest IQs as a defender. So
which is why
yeah,
he's still
definitely
playing.
ball playing wasn't his strength. When you talked about those two legs, I've seen him play live, Thiago Silva. So I've seen him play at the Bridge live. I was at that game when he did play. So yeah, look, he's passes the ball very well, but he's a safe passer. He passes more to get stuff moving, slow build up. There's a big difference where Levi Colwell steps out. Thiago Silva doesn't really step out. He stays in that pocket as the last man, basically, to scan and organize everything. Whereas Levi Colwell steps out, long balls, quick, penetrating balls on the ground with pace and power. So yeah, very different
And,
indeed.
and
So
and we're
yeah,
not saying Thiago Silva. We're not saying he doesn't have good passing range. He does, but he simply cannot measure Levi Colwell.
and the type of passing.
Yeah,
Thiago Silva does soft, balls. If it does a ball over the top, very rarely. It's a little, accurate sort of soft pass. Where Levi's passing is aggressive. So there's a big difference between the passing as well. Aggressive passing versus more safe, soft passing. Very different.
and again, disclaimer: nobody here said Thiago Silva is a bad defender. He's a much better overall defender than Levi Colwell.
Way better, yes.
We're
Yes.
better. We know that, but it's important to be able to tell how they differ. Trevor Chalobah, as good as he is, he's more of a traditional defender than a ball-playing defender, and cannot even lace Levi Colwell's shoes in terms of ball playing or maybe passing range. But when you want a defender to get the job done, dirty, clean, pick him. So they have slight differences even when you don't pay. You have to pay. So in some cases you have to look what to realize. But in the case of Silva's passing range versus that of Levi Colwell, you could argue that Levi Colwell, he's one of the starting defenders down to his passing ability, actually, not necessarily his defensive abilities. But kudos to him in that aspect. Also, he's improved. You forgot Thiago Silva's passing in the last World Cup for Brazil. I don't want to get into this argument, but you get my point. You're entitled to say he's the best passer of the world, but we should have got that 18-year-old Italian that went to Liverpool. The latter part was here in Chelsea, sir. I think you've watched Kowa so much, you've actually forgotten Silva's quality on the ball. No, listen, oh no. I'm not talking about Silva's overall ability. He's good on the ball. But being good on the ball, for me, it's different from, again, it's not the same as your passing range or passing ability overall. I'm not sure how else to explain this, but you get the point.
I think, Coach, going forward,
Yeah.
to kind of go with what you're saying, I think that's partly why Maresca is persisting a little bit with Badiashile, because he has a very good passing range.
He
And
does.
to be fair, Chalobah has a very, very good passing range. And Tosin is not bad either. So
Tosin is
um,
actually he has excellent passing range.
that aspect, we do have these players, but we do need an extra one. Badiashile is never fit. Tosin can't do it alone. And Chalobah, yes, he's excellent, but we need backup. You can't play these people for the 60 something odd games, hopefully, that we will face this coming season. So either they get someone in who does that. If
Mhm.
I personally, and I'm not basing it on anything, this is just strictly my opinion, I think Renato Veiga can do that. I think he's technical enough. I just think he hasn't had that opportunity. If he's instructed to, he will do it. It's not that I know we've gotten used to Colwell. So the eye test of seeing him passing, spraying that ball from time to time is stuck with us. And that's good. Colwell has evolved into that. But I personally believe, and if they don't, then, they know more than I do about these players. But I personally believe that Renato Veiga can do that.
I
You
mean,
He
give
just needs
him
to
the
be, like I said,
instruction,
Bobby. He
he
needs
will
to
do
be
it.
evolved into that role. So that could take him 6 months,
yeah, exactly. I
a
was gonna
year.
say that. Yeah,
Maresca doesn't want that. He wants
if
someone
we,
that
if
already can do that now.
yeah, if the manager wants immediate,
Well, how much
uh,
would this guy from Lille cost? Are we even looking at him? Do we know that?
the only did you see anything,
And the
Dante?
problem with someone,
I've seen one for Hincapie.
excuse me,
Go ahead, Bobby.
and the problem with somebody coming from outside the Premier League, you're talking of time to evolve into a role. They're
Yeah,
going to need time to get used to the Premier League. At least Renato Veiga understands that and has played with Chelsea and has a little bit of a understanding of what the manager wants. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm looking at immediate solutions because it's not something that can be um, resolved that quickly, but it needs to be. It needs to be someone who's really going to come and fit in. And the sooner they get that person in, the better. So we're still not sure we're not going to use Vega. We're still not sure. I'll
But
be
I can
quite
actually, I
interested.
can actually
I'm
bet a
pretty
buck,
sure.
Bobby. I can bet a buck that's not gonna happen.
Okay. Yeah, that's
But that's
fine.
my
That's how
opinion.
you feel.
Chances are you'd end up being right. Remember when we talked about Kukurea, I was concerned. But you
Yeah.
see how quickly he signed the deal. I'm not sure how they did it, but I'm happy. You were the one
Yeah.
that said he might. Chances are he's happy to stay, and it turns out he's happy to stay.
He's
And
very happy to stay.
exactly. So, but we're here to have a conversation and see things from different perspectives and try to come to a sensible conclusion. In the case of Viega, given that my opinion is that I don't see that happening. But
You see,
if you
why
if
I
you look at
mentioned Vega,
how we called back Chalobah, then you see there's also a possibility that it happens. You never know. But Dante, you were saying
exactly.
something. Go ahead, Bobby. If Dante isn't ready
You're
to speak,
saying
go ahead.
why
Go
I
ahead, Bobby.
mentioned Renato Vega is, you see, fans often they can't help themselves. They end up making a bias in their mind, and they don't understand that this is a fluid, functional situation. Now, I don't know. I don't have a very strong stance on it because I'm not there. But all I'm saying is that a practical solution would be him. And if there was the possibility for the coach to sit down, and it's very possible, say, hey, Ramon Vega, this is your chance. You want to play and be noticed for the World Cup. This is an opening for you. I want you to be able to defend. I want you to be able to distribute the ball, you know, and then you put him in training. I think it would be a quicker fix than getting someone from the French league who has to get used to the English Premier League, who then has to, you see what I mean? It's very long winded importing somebody when you have the solutions there. Just like we had with Chalobah. We were messing about looking for defenders when Chalobah, our boy, was right there. Brought up at Chelsea, knows how Chelsea plays, even knows how Maresca plays. And the rest is history. So I wouldn't rule it out. It's not over in football till the fat lady sings.
Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, the possibility is still there. He's not gone yet. He's still a Chelsea
Absolutely.
player.
He sure
So
is.
yeah, exactly. But I know you already know that. That's how we operate here. We see things, bring all the information we have to the table, and try to come to a sensible conclusion. But I think chances are you'd end up being right, and I'm wrong. But in my opinion, I doubt that, but let's see what happens anyway. And here, AB is saying, Coach, have you seen the Disasi's line breaking pass system? Yeah, I agree. He can be good, but he needs tons of space to be able to do
He,
that.
he needs to be able to defend. He doesn't know how to
Yeah,
defend at all.
but
So
I'm just sticking with the passing range aspect of his comment in the Premier League. you're not accorded that much space. And we knew immediately that he'd be on the chopping block the moment we heard that Enzo Maresca would become our next manager. Why? Because under the slightest of pressure, Disasi makes primary school level mistakes. We did talk, we knew even before we started hearing who's in and who's out, we knew, yeah, he's in trouble. So that's a huge issue. Why do you think Aston Villa are pushing to keep him? I get it. They didn't make the Champions League and all that. Probably didn't, money would be an issue, but yeah. Forget. Have you seen Petrovic in the Premier League? That do you remember when we had that conversation?
Yep.
He struggles, actually.
Of course he will. Yes, it's very different. I kept telling people it's very different. It's not the same.
Not the same at all. Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is. He's not a Chelsea player anymore. Doesn't matter.
And we got tons of money for him. Yeah, let's see what we have here. I'm not really worried about our defense. Listen, I'm not either. If we can continue defending as a unit, just like we did in the Club World Cup, a prime example, those games where what's his name, Pedro Neto, especially in the final, he was selfless. Although he didn't, for me, in my opinion, he didn't look happy because he was taxed to always track back. I think Hakimi, more importantly, or whoever attacks us on the left hand side from the PSG side, and he did it effectively. That was one. It was him that that tracked Hakimi back. That he had to head the ball back. I was concerned, but he did it well. So as long as we continue to defend as a unit, I wouldn't mind us going into the season just sign Simons and we'll be fine. But go ahead, Bobby. You wanted to say something.
This narrative, he didn't look happy. I don't know why, fans come out with that. These players are
No, that's just me saying that. I haven't heard anybody say that. That's just me saying they didn't look happy.
I'm just approximating. These people are highly professional, quite well intelligent players.
Mhm.
They understand it's a team game. They understand that sometimes you have to work through a system. They want to win. He was perfectly happy with the role he had to do. He knew it had to be done, and he saw the effects of it being done. So I challenge that. Another thing I challenge is,
but you get the aspect of that defending as a unit.
it's not his game. It's not his game.
Yeah,
But
he was selfless.
He's happy to make it his game to achieve the objective.
Yeah.
I mean, even Eden Hazard under Conte was going against his natural instincts and defending sometimes. Another thing I've decided to do this season is, please God, don't make me be wrong. I'm going to start off backing Rob Sanchez. I think Sanchez has done enough. We're a
Yes.
developing team.
The signs are good.
Everybody has been developing. Everybody. He didn't start off well, but he's now showing some very, very good qualities. I'm tired of these people that can't get it out of their system. This is what I'm saying. A lot of the thing with fans, it's a matter of give a dog a bad name and they just stick to it, regardless. I think somebody did a stream, one of the usuals that we tend to listen to, and he was calling out his stats and Donnarumma's stats. Wow, it was night and day. I can see why Chelsea aren't looking at Donnarumma and are sticking with him. So I think sometimes we overreact and we go with labels rather than the reality of the situation. I think Renato Veiga also is a victim of that. He's pissed off Chelsea fans, myself included, with his antics. And with his, he came back, expecting to be sent to the Club World Cup. Of course not. You did a runner.
Maybe we should make him the captain too at the
Exactly. That sort of attitude. I get that. But we can't be so stuck in our opinions that we can't be flexible should the manager, in the unlikely event, decide to keep him. We have to understand that there is a reason behind that, and probably because he's a player that's going to fit in. So the same with Rob Sanchez. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, they're sticking so religiously to this guy. They're seeing something here. And he has given himself the opportunity, the right to a second chance.
Yeah, and again, and I respect those who have again those that have the open mindedness to actually look at things the way it should be looked at and realize that actually he's done well, honestly, and to be more specific areas, he's improved in the area high claims. Improved in that aspect a lot, which helped us deal with set piece situations from mid-season down. And he did show that, yeah, that's become a consistent part of his game. And for me, I think he deserves respect. Actually, he was excellent in that final throughout the Club World Cup. He wasn't perfect, but yeah, goalkeepers do make mistakes, and he didn't make a lot for the duration of the competition. And in the final, didn't look like he was gonna concede. He was, yeah. But yeah, I think you're correct. Maya the rapper, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. And thank you for reposting the stream also. Thank you, thank you. So finally somebody in the chat supports me. In share Wendy, thank you. I appreciate you. My sister, I do hope you're doing well. Maybe we should re-sign a Silver for 6 months to cover. I think, yeah, if we sign him, we definitely have to change the way we play. No more highlights for a start. As much as I know he's still fitting, but you'd have to change things to accommodate him. Veiga does not believe in Maresca or Chelsea's project. I mean, the guy bailed on us after like 4 months. We need to sell him. These owners are not playing; they are relentless. Here's the thing. I like Veiga. I still like him as a player. Just yes, I don't blame him. He had to do what he had to do at the time, but should have just done it and shot it. Yeah, the same thing Felix did, because the plan, what we heard at the time, that they were going to be part of our Club World Cup squad, but probably because they didn't shot it. Felix started talking about how he would want to stay, remain at Milan and all that. But that's by the way. Renato Veiga and Nkunku, João Felix should all be let go. They're not interested. I think that's going to happen eventually. And some owner says Cowell is actually a weak link. To an extent, I agree to that, but he's actually improved overall defensively. And I think Dante would also, no, I'm not Dante, but I'd say I see him agreeing to that to an extent. While his recovery is excellent, his positional acuity is a problem. Estavo expose it. However, he has flexible hips for quick turns, but he has momentary lapses, and that's for me very common. Again, when you're dealing with young players, but he's improved. Bobby Shea says on point for you. Sanchez has proven that he's good enough. It's just his lack of confidence. I'd say, in my opinion, lapses in concentration, momentary lapses in concentration, which has subsided a bit, in my opinion. I think that's Maresca. I think that Maresca has all of that control for his confidence. He's been class for a while now, and long may that continue, as Mikhail would say. And the signs are good. Viega can be trained. I don't think we have the luxury of training players if we want to win something this season. We may a few, but in defensive area, it's too much of a risk, in my opinion. But let's go ahead. What else do you have to say? He just needs to believe in the project. In addition, his passing accuracy is above average. Renato should be given a chance. I mean, it's a possibility he's still our player. After all, who would have thought that we'd bring back what's his name? We'd bring back Chaloba from Crystal Palace, and he's done well. More likes, people, more likes, 28 likes. Let's try and get it to at least 30 likes. We can do that. And I want us to round up soon because I honestly want to watch games, but we still have a few items to address, so we can call it a day. We should give Nkunku one more season, in my opinion, in his class, and we have been and we have seen that in the Conference League. He significantly helped us. Here's the thing: he's one of those. He's not on our current um the high league. He's not one of again. He's on a different type of contract, not the heavily incentivized contract, and I think that's an issue. That's an issue. Plus, also under Enzo Maresca, whether in the Conference League or in the Premier League, if you're playing in the attacking area, you need to be able to press very well. And in Nkunku's case, just like in Palmer's case, Palmer is not, again, he's not the best at pressing, but he reads the game very well. He's able to cut off passing lanes and can win the ball in the final third. But in Nkunku, you don't even get that from him. Maybe let me just be safe here on a consistent basis. So that's an issue, irrespective of how well he did during the Club World Cup. I think, yeah, he'd be better off leaving. Otherwise, he's not going to play that much. And I'd say that even he got to play a part in the Club World Cup because, yeah, he's a consummate professional. He's carried himself well, didn't complain much. You didn't get briefs from his camp and all that. But that's by the way. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. We're playing in four competitions this season. He will get game time. Okay, would he want to stay and only get to play when we play cup games or something? I don't think he would want to do that. He's still young enough to get a chance to play for France. So, and he does come across as he still has that hunger to continue playing. He's not like Raheem Sterling, who you could argue has retired in his head, just wants to be earning the money. He could play yeah, but it would take a lot. That's a small opinion anyway. All right, let's see what else do we have here. Next item. Bournemouth have made two desperate moves to sign Chelsea starlet Josh Acheampong. I don't think we're selling him, and I still think we're not going to send him out on loan. But I'm one of those that feel like let's not, out of selfishness, given how good he is and how much of a talent he is, maybe keep him, and he doesn't get to play that much to continue developing. But the fact that we didn't send him on loan to Strasbourg tells me where you can say he'd be guaranteed to be playing week in, week out. I'd say I don't think we're looking to sell him. I don't think we're even looking to send him out on loan. That's my opinion. But Dante, let's hear you.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we're going to send him out on loan, or definitely not selling him, that's for sure. So, yeah, look, he'll still get pretty good game time. He's still learning, with this group of players. He'll start pretty much every cup game early on. So he'll have, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, maybe there some game depending on the matchups when we play some of the, lesser teams. But look, he's going to get plenty of game time. He might get used as a substitute more often now as well, from what we saw in the preseason. So I think he stays. He's not going nowhere. It's not bad for his development to stay sometimes and keep, hang around the first team, around Reece James, around these players. He's basically that sort of third choice right back as well. But we know, Gusto, James, they might get injured. You never know. And all of a sudden he's gets a little bit more important role. So I think he stays. He can still develop because he will start all those, like I said, cup games. He's going to start quite a lot and come in as substitute quite a lot, I think, as well, especially if, we're up, we're winning. Even if we have to chase the game, he might still come on because obviously he's more of an attacking sort of defender. So, yeah, look, I think he's not going anywhere. I think Maresca rates him very, very highly, and he will definitely be staying with the squad and still be getting plenty game time, probably more than he got last season. That's for sure. So it's another step in the right direction for him for his development. And yeah, I don't think he's going absolutely nowhere. I think
I
he'll
think
be staying
Maresca likes
around
him.
with the squad.
Yeah, if you look at the profile of games that he selected him, that he gave an opportunity to be part of, that speaks volume. That
Exactly.
yeah, he wants to keep him. Yeah, before I go to Bobby, Sam almost says Nkunku stays if Simons don't come. No, I disagree. But remember, I disagree with you on this one. If Nkunku stays, it be because that Bayern or clubs interested in signing him that they're not able to meet our valuation of Nkunku. Honestly, if you say if Nkunku's look, no, it's Nkunku stays if Simmons don't come. No, if you say maybe Simmons will not come if Nkunku stays, I'm not sure, but you get my point now. Nkunku's Chelsea future doesn't depend on the signing of Simon. Maybe the other way, then it makes sense. If we end up not being able to sell Nkunku, maybe we're not going to sign Simmons. That's believable to me than saying if Nkunku stays, Simmons doesn't come. No, I don't know. Dante, what do you make of this comment?
Look, there's a little possibility, but Nkunku's not involved in anything. He's not involved in those games preseason and everything. So
His future doesn't depend on whether Simmons arrives or not. That's the point I'm trying to make.
no, he's gone. Like I did say, we need to move a couple of players to be able to accommodate Simmons to register him in the team. So that is the only way that can happen. But I think even if that he'll still, I think Nkunku still goes even on loan. He'll still be gone either way. Otherwise, he would have been involved in the preseason and be involved in those games. They're sitting him aside for specific reasons. Same with Vega. They're not involved in nothing because they're negotiating with other teams and they will be on the way out. If for some reason we can't move him, as in we don't sell him, well, I still think he probably goes on loan in my personal opinion. I don't think he stays anymore. I don't think he wants to play. He'll rather go on loan and play somewhere as a starter than
Mm.
stay and get cameo appearances here and there. That's not what he would want, especially in the World Cup year as well. So yeah, I think either way he's gone.
Yeah. Like as I said before, he does come across as he still has that hunger to play. It's not about not necessarily about money alone for him, just like Raheem Sterling. And Cole Palmer here says I strongly agree because like Acheampong is a star talent. He's I don't know how to explain it, but like against Leverkusen, he made some mistakes. So yeah, he's still very young, and that's expected. He's too young to be sold. He has so much potential. But I think the priority will be what's best for his development. But I think if he stays, Maresca likes him enough that he gets to play enough to continue developing actually, and it'd be easier for him to, you could say, a better path for him to Chelsea's first team. And as Sam Honor says it from a reliable source, the board wanted to loan Acheampong, but Maresca insisted Reece James' injury history plus he's a better option than Disasi in the right centre back. I really like Josh, and I think the manager likes him too. And I think we'll keep him. Chelsea fans have really changed. Okay, you have to be more specific there. Let's see. Yes, I get your point, but it depends on Siemens because for 4 competitions we are thin in the number 10 with Drewsville Hall. I think already sold. Yeah, we only have Estevo. You cannot sell Nkunku if Siemens doesn't arrive. You also cannot keep Nkunku if he wants to leave, and I think he'd push to leave because
Yeah,
it's
he wants
clear.
to play. He wants to
Yeah,
be a starter somewhere and play a lot of minutes.
yeah,
That won't
exactly.
happen at
That's the
Chelsea.
point. Yeah. More importantly, would he want to stay and be playing second fiddle to anybody? No. So, Bobby, let's hear you, Josh Acheampong, your thoughts. Bournemouth, given the report on the screen reads that Bournemouth have made desperate moves to sign Chelsea starlet Josh Acheampong, but it doesn't look like we're looking to even loan him out. I want him to stay for me. But let's hear you, Bobby.
Yeah, you're right. Josh is going nowhere. Um, his pathway and development has been set. He's going to remain, and he will be used. He won't be used game in, game out, but he's going to be used. Josh will play nothing less than 20 games this season. Um, from the start, I'm talking about. Problem with Josh, he would have been the person, although I don't see any ball distribution skills
Mhm.
like that yet. He would have been the person to stand in for Colwell, but he lacks the physicality. He's tall and he's spindly, typical 18-year-old, and he's going to need time to fill out. He's a boy that's in development. Bournemouth is not a club for him. I think he's in the right place. I really do. And to be honest, I don't see them allowing him to go anywhere. There
Yeah,
was a
yeah, they're not good.
reason
Yeah.
we signed him on a longer contract, and we did that so we would use him and develop him in house.
Yeah, and that makes it easy again. His path to the first team easier because he learned how the manager wants to play, and I think the plan is to keep Maresca at the club long term. So yeah. Cole Palmer, if you don't mind, do not use all caps. If you do that, the AI that's policing the chat will delete your message and time you out. It's not a human being, so you don't start a fight with him. It's not human. So Josh Acheampong, I want him to stay. Is an again very intelligent footballer. So this one here, Villarreal are looking at to sign Chelsea defender Renato Veiga. Defender is interested in joining them. So nothing from Chelsea's perspective, except for the player's perspective that he's interested in joining Villarreal. But we haven't heard whether we're looking to sell him or not. But we'll find out. No need. We've talked about him already. There's still a chance. Yeah, I'm not going to argue against that. He says, "Why are United fans saying they're going to sign Cole Palmer? It's never going to happen. It's just wishful thinking, and I think they're pained that they had the opportunity. The opportunity was there for him to, you can say, stay at be a United. What's the story really? He was at their academy, or he went on trial there. They they didn't sign him or something to that effect.
He
It's just
has never
wishful.
been there. He's just he was a Man United fan,
Okay, but he's never been there. Okay, okay,
and he never will.
okay. And this year says Chelsea want permanent sell for Carney Chukwu Emeka, including add-on selling, which would take overall deal towards his £40 million release clause. Oh, I remember we added a release clause. We had that we have a release clause again in his contract. That's something serious. Do I think Dortmund? Do I think they'd meet that? Probably if they believe in him, because if they believe they can nurture him and then sell him for around 100 million pounds or euros in a few years, I think they'd take him. They wouldn't mind, and I think he's such talent. Even Maresca did say at the time that he likes him, he wants to keep him, but he wants to be playing week in, week out, even without the guarantee that he stays fit. Uh, his case not that straightforward, but yeah, this is not the sort of deal that I see Dortmund getting him. I don't see Dortmund getting him on the cheap, given the fact that we have a release clause of £40 million in his contract. But Dante, let's hear you.
Yeah, they won't pay that. No, no chance. But look, they did sign Joe Bellingham for 35. So I mean, they can go closer to that. So hopefully we work out something in the middle there. But yeah, they're definitely not paying that much. They will never pay that much. It won't be enough for them. It's too risky for them to pay that much for him with his injury record. Yeah, I don't think that will ever happen. Plus, it doesn't give him much room to make a big profit on him. So Yeah, look, Carney won't be a 100 mil player. I don't, in my personal opinion,
I
that's
think
not
he,
going to
I
happen.
think he has it in him. If he can stay fit, play consistently, I
No,
think okay.
he's not versatile enough, in my opinion. He can only really play one position. So yeah, the way he's going, like I said,
And
the
if I
injury
may
history,
ask, what position exactly? 10, 8?
10. Yeah, 10. Yeah, I don't see him playing anywhere else, to be honest. He can't play in the wings. He can't play deeper. His only position is that 10. And yeah, look,
Would it be
in
right to say
modern
that he's
football,
sluggish?
yeah, in modern football, one position is not as enticing to a lot of teams anymore. Not to pay a lot of money for, that is. So unless you're really, really superstar material, and I don't think he is that, to be honest. So has he got a bright future? Yeah, he does. First of all, he needs to get over his injuries first, and you know, actually play 5 games in a row. First of all, once that passes, well, then you know, there might be some potential there, but I just think he's quite limited at the moment because of that. And my opinion, can only really play that position at the moment.
Yeah, he's here. He can play DM. I think he will suck as a DM actually. Um, is okay, and his IQ. Yeah, he has good passing range. He can. I think good close control. He's quite strong as well. I don't know about being quite strong. Maybe I don't know him well enough. I actually, yeah, and you can't blame me. How many times has he played since he signed for us? Actually, maybe I've not. I, I haven't watched him enough. But that's by the way, Bobby. You want to add anything to that, or
Yeah,
should
I
we
do.
move on to
I
the
do.
next topic?
I think we have short memories. Carney is an excellent player. I get it. I have doubts he would be the £100 million player,
Mhm.
but he is an excellent player when fit. I remember him playing under Pochettino. He played every single part of the midfield, and he played effectively. He played the DM, he played the 8, he played 10, and he played very, very well when fit. He's very capable of doing that. But
And we lost all those
as,
games pretty much.
no, no, we didn't. That's not
Yes, we
true.
did, Bobby. He's
That,
only
that is
played
not
three
true.
games. He only played 3 games, and that's it. Those 3 games, and that was it.
Bobby, do you know he hasn't played that much? I'm actually
I'm
inclined to
talking of the
believe that he's only
Pochettino
played
days.
3 games for us.
I'm talking of the Pochettino games.
Even
I
under
remember
Pochettino, he didn't
very
play that much.
He only played three
very
games, Bobby. Three
His
games. That's
his
I,
it.
injury record actually was
maybe
under
he only
Pochettino, I
started.
think. But go ahead,
I
Bobby.
remember I remember very vividly the Man United 4-3, where he played an exceptional role. He played three positions in midfield that day. He started off as a DM, then he went to central midfield, then he went to attacking midfield. He has a glossary in his game as a midfielder, if fit. That's always the word, fit. I think his fitness is what's working against him, and it's what's working against Dortmund committing to paying um, big money for him. 40 million? Yeah, maybe it could be a stretch because of his fitness and nothing else.
Did you see the report where he said something to the effect of he's not happy how players are treated at Chelsea? And I was like, if in fact he did say that, he should stay try and stay fit first. We've been patient with him actually, and whenever he's
Very
fit,
patient.
yeah, even Pochettino wanted to give him game time, but he got injured. Sometimes actually you'd hear that he's fit enough to start the next game, and then the day before the game you'd hear that he got injured again. It's I don't know. Okay.
It reminds me of
Hi.
Daniel Sturridge.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
was always injured when it came to him having his chances as a striker. You shouldn't be complaining when that happens because it's nobody's fault. Armando Broja, the same thing. Chelsea was more than willing to give him opportunities, but every time his opportunity came, he was injured.
Yeah, never available to actually take the opportunity. Yeah. Emmanuel Moba watching from Liberia, and let me say thank you to the team. and I always like to follow this show. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Emmanuel Mulba, I appreciate you, my West African brother. Thank you for saying that. That makes us happy. I'm blushing right now. But Emmanuel, thank you once again. I hope you're doing well. I hope things are fine in Liberia. But thank you for joining. What else do we have here? What am I doing here actually? So let me go. Let's go news hunting. Let's go news hunting on. Dante probably know why I let that cough go. I just feel like shutting down that screen immediately, but that's by the way. Let's go news hunting, then we'll call it a day. And let's see. 32 likes. I didn't know we were going to get to that number because we're swimming in a vertical format. And in the back end, we have about 5,174 views. But yeah, but we should be doing a lot better than 33 likes, actually. Yeah. Beat that. But when we swim in vertical view, that's usually what we get. Oh yeah, one of those talks. Chelsea are making a huge mistake getting João Pedro. I don't listen to Eunice anymore. I used to respect him a lot until I watched that video where I think we lost the game, and then he made a video saying, "Talk Bolly and Co. Pack your shit and go. That's it. We're done." But I didn't waste my time watching it because my response was that, "Who are you?" And do you think they'd even watch that video? But that's by the way. He's apologized, but I don't care about his apology. He doesn't owe me any apologies. Listen, he grew his brand by being provocative, and I don't think he'd ever stop being provocative. It's really that simple. So I'm not surprised to see him saying that signing João Pedro was a mistake. But that's by the way. Vince here on Eberichi Eze. Eberichi Eze is suspected to be left out of the squad against Chelsea this Sunday as he's pushing to leave Crystal Palace. I'm happy. He's always scored against Chelsea, hasn't he, Dante?
Yeah, he has, and he's the most dangerous, definitely, and most creative player in that forward line. So him not being there, yeah, they'll struggle a little bit to create much. So
To
yeah,
create
look,
and score too, because he's a fine finisher on his day.
yeah, to score and create, but he's got a good striker up ahead, so he creates quite a lot for him. So he's going to be a big miss for them, but it's a big bonus for us. It might change their way of playing though. So
They
they
have a
might,
very smart manager, more importantly. So
yeah, they'll set up a little
his
bit different probably
yeah,
because of that.
and
So they will be more defensive as well. So yeah, it's a bonus he's not playing, but then they will be a lot more defensive as well. So
what's the name
even
of their manager? Oliver Glasner. What's his name?
Glasner, yeah. Even Guehi
Glasner.
might not play either. So that's probably the two most important players, two of the most very important players. So yeah, look, it's good for us. So it is what it is because they're probably going to make some moves. They don't want to risk playing him, obviously, if they're going to get a lot of money for him. So, which is fair enough. So, but yeah, a nice bonus for us.
Not necessarily, honestly. I don't like it when you can say when our perception of the open of our next opposition is that they're weakened given the absence of certain players. I don't remember the last time that was the case and we won. We won the game. I he Houston. I'd say this. Maresca
You
is a
keep saying that
record
all last
breaker.
season, coach, and it got proved pretty much wrong most of the time.
Okay, I hope
That's
so.
changed. That's changed now. That's changed quite a lot. It's not Pochettino anymore. It's not Potter. It's changed. We have a system. We can create
And
chances.
Maresca is a good tactician.
Exactly. He can play around. He'll make the changes needed if you have to at halftime or even during in game. So I'm not worried about that anymore.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, is it just me? Or okay, who got scared when Spurs was winning 2-0 against PSG? Then they bottled it. Bro, I wanted Chelsea, the only London club to beat PSG. Okay. You weren't the only one concerned on that day. I was concerned when we were down 2-0. Um, And he says that I wanted Mateta, to be honest, but then we got Pedro and more suitable to the way we like to play. And even Mateta, as big as he is, actually, he can fulfill the hybrid approach. Actually, now I'm not happy because we got him. He's so good. He's a good player. And remember, he was actually on holiday before we signed him, and he helped us win the Club World Cup. Kevin Marilla, Kachila, kindly enlarge your screen. We cannot zoom it. Apologies. I'm trying, but even as a coder, I haven't found a solution. Uh, I don't know because this is directly on X. So for me, uh, I'll try to see what I can do. Maybe I probably would be better now. Maybe inspect the element and delete the right hand side so that guy comes central. But it's not something I can do now. But good observation. I'll work on finding a solution. But the show we have later in the day today, the match preview show, will be a landscape format. So you will not have the issue of the text on the screen being as tiny as maybe you're seeing it right now. So apologies, Kevin Morilla. Sincerely do apologize. All right, what else do we have here? Fans Connect by
It
Vince
doesn't
here.
mean it. Kevin.
Sorry, I don't mean it right. All right, Chelsea believer in their process. The trading can look ruthless, but the model of handing out heavily incentivized deals has made it easier to move unwanted players on. And a lot of people thought the case was going to be the opposite, but that's by the way. People say Palmer had a bad season. Bro was assistant, and yeah, had we been clinical in front of goal, he'd have double the assist number. And weren't even watching. Yeah, exactly. That's the truth. What else do we have here? Anything else? If you have any questions, drop it there. We'll address it. And remember, the rule is that you don't ask a difficult question. Otherwise, I'll pretend I can't see it. Anything else here? Chelsea have firepower and tactical flexibility, and they have belief after beating PSG. Inside the club, though, there's caution, and caution, it's important. Yeah, don't rest on your laurels. Maresca is now facing demands from the board to win the title. The victory over PSG has been followed by reminders of the need to everyone. Yeah, stay humble, but I get it. I don't know. Anything else you guys want us to talk about before we call it? And I think we've addressed pretty much everything we have lined up here. And as the show progressed, nothing new emerged. But I'm going to try one more time in case. Did I refresh this? I did not. So let me just go back to Vince's main page and see if anything new emerged as the show progressed. But why I do that, I don't know. Anything else you guys want us to talk about?
No, I
And
think
if
you've
you
covered
have
everything.
questions, drop
There's
it.
nothing much to cover. So yeah, it's good job, coach.
No, yeah.
Okay, let me refresh this and see if anything new
I'm
emerged. Go ahead,
watching the
Bobby.
Villa. I'm watching the Villa Newcastle game. I'm just reminded of,
Still zeros, right?
yeah, but so much physicality. That's still an area that I think we have enough skillful midfielders to deal with it. But certainly in defence, I'm slightly unsure. Um, there's a lot of that in this game, a lot of that. But the pace is very slow, which is interesting as well. So I'm just getting a feel for the new Premier League season because I think this season is going to be very fierce, especially in the top four situations. It's going to be very fierce.
Yeah, it will be very tight. It will be. Okay, you're going to the game. Wow. You got a VIP seat too. Hopefully you get a few video and share with us. That's not easy. I hope they win. So yeah, so be a remarkable day for you. I have a feeling that if we get Simmons, we can reach you for Champions League final. Honestly, if we sign him, I'd go to the extent of saying, yeah, we're title contenders. That's a small opinion. But that's by the way, it doesn't look like we have any questions. Dante, anything else? Bobby spoken, anything else you want to add to that?
No, coach, no, but yeah, definitely Simmons will make a big difference. Not just for depth, but breaking down teams, especially low block teams, which we still struggled. But we are definitely way, way, way better placed this season to break down low
Contend.
blocks. Yeah,
Okay.
João
Oh,
Pedro, Delap, um, and obviously Esteval will make I think a very big difference. And Simmons, if he comes in, especially Simmons for that those type of games.
Gittins as well.
yeah. Getting to
Gibbons
yeah.
not so much, not against low blocks, not in my personal opinion.
He
He's
needs
more of
space. You
a
think?
he's more of a touchline winger, speed, running at players in behind. He'll do okay, but not really his strength against low blocks. It's more mid blocks, high blocks. That's his
Hmm.
strength
Wow. That
when there's
okay.
more space to run into and take his player on one-on-one.
All right. One question for you on the screen, then we'll call it a day. Does Donnarumma fit in with Maresca's philosophy? For me, he increases our percentage chance as title contenders, but he alters the system, which may then be detrimental. What do you think? I think you answered the question.
Yeah,
He's off one the ball, but I'll let Dante answer a bit.
he's kind
Why
of
do you
answered
think we're
himself
not
there.
pushing to sign him? Plus, I get it. First of all, his salary an issue. But go ahead, Dante. And why do you think Enrique isn't? Enrique is not eager for him to get a new contract.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look, it's he would not suit our style of play at all. You would have to change, basically not play out from the back hardly at all. So you put him under pressure. He's horrible with the ball at his feet. It's not his game at all. And in the Premier League as well, where there's a lot of closing down, the speed is much quicker. You don't have time at all. So we've seen Sanchez. Sanchez is actually, for a goalkeeper, he's pretty good with the ball at his feet. But when you put him under pressure, even he, can struggle. So Donnarumma would be a disaster as our goalkeeper. Shot stopping for me, world class. Is a very good shot stopper. Long reach. For a big guy, he gets down not too bad either. But it's not a big upgrade it's not an upgrade on Rob Sanchez, unfortunately, because he cannot play with his feet at all. So I don't think Maresca would not sign. It doesn't suit his system at all. He would never sign him.
yeah. Let's see. And what's the name? And Vic is asking why does Pep want him then? I don't know. That's why when I saw the update from ESPN, I was like, that's shocking. I didn't expect that to happen.
He wants him. He might change. Don't forget, Pep he didn't do that well last season. He's going to tweak his approach. He's got different players as well. He's going to tweak his approach a little bit, in my opinion, and probably he would fit maybe what he wants to do. So he might not play as much out from the back anymore, probably. So, well, you can't with Donnarumma anyway. So he might change his approach. He's looking at something a little bit different, and he does that every 2 or 3 years. He's always changed that up. He's always changed his tactics a little bit and improvised something new. So I'm not surprised if he's probably got something up. He's got a new plan. He's got something that he wants to try something different. Gives him another option.
I don't know really. I here's the thing. I've always again never. I've always been one of those that see him as not good on the ball for 3 4 years now.
He's never
Yeah,
been good, and he never
he's
will
never
be
been
good.
good at the ball in my opinion. So I'm not sure. Maybe Pep believes he will improve, or he can get him to start doing well in that aspect because he's still very young. Or maybe
Look,
Pep is just
no
yeah.
coach, you cannot teach that. He's got no technical ability at all. You can never teach Donnarumma to do that. Unfortunately, it's not in his DNA. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen now. And it's not easy for him being 6'7", 6'8", whatever he is. He's very, very tall. He's very, yeah. He's never going to learn that. But can you win with Donnarumma? Well, PSG can win with Donnarumma. Man City can win with Donnarumma. Like I said, it's got to be a bit different. Luis Enrique is going for a different approach. He's going to play more for the keeper. Hence, he brought Chevalier in. He's going to play a lot more that way now. Pep Guardiola's probably changing. He's not going to use his keeper that much anymore. He's going to change it up. That's the only way he's signing Donnarumma. It doesn't make any sense otherwise.
Yeah, and I don't think if I don't know. Okay, this is another question. Okay, this is going to be the last one.
Pep,
Would Courtois? Go ahead, Bobby.
Pep wants a spine of big guys.
Possibly.
Donnarumma,
Yeah.
that midfielder, what's his name? Um, what's their midfielder's name, guys? Help me.
Rodri.
Rodri, yeah.
Rodri, yeah, and Haaland. Maybe that's where he wants to go.
I think
And
he
also,
pays
Bobby, they
attention.
did
You
concede.
could say every
They did
season.
concede a lot of goals from set pieces,
Yeah.
and teams started using that against them, putting long balls towards Edison. He cannot handle Edison long balls, high claims coming out
Yeah,
for
high claims.
those.
I understand.
Yeah, so I think that's also got that's why they signed Trafford as well, because Trafford can do that as well. So yeah, I feel sorry for Trafford though. If Donnarumma comes, that'll be interesting to see.
But here's the thing, something you said, Dante. Pep is an intelligent manager. You could argue he takes stocks at the end of every season and try to sign the sort of profile that will make up for areas where he lacked in the previous
Exactly.
season.
Yeah.
Just like when they signed Haaland to mix things up and not just go with a hybrid number nine.
Correct.
Um,
Yep.
but Haaland also created his own problem. He scored tons of goals as an individual, but the team overall, the goals weren't shared around, and you can say to an extent that was an issue.
Yeah, it was, and he's changed that now. The
Hmm.
players he's brought in, he's like I said, he's changing his philosophy. He does that every 2 to 3 years anyway. So he's probably changing it again uh, with the new players at his disposal, because he's brought in quite a few new players as well. So look, he's adaptable. That's why he's one of the greatest. He's actually adaptable. He doesn't stick to just one way forever. So yeah, look, he gets backed as well. There's no problem with money. He gets backed if he wants. No problem.
Last question that we will take for the day is from Sam Ono. Also reads would Courtois or Oblak, Jan Oblak of Atletico Madrid, who are elite and arguably top six goalies, play under Maresca? If not, then are we not overhyping the footy aspects for good? Here's the thing. Um, Modern football. Sometimes we're lucky to have scientists who's also a good shot stopper and a considerably good on the ball. Better on the ball than Oblak, I'd say. Good to an extent, better on the block than Courtois, but both may be better shot stoppers. I don't know, but I would like to. I'd have to look at their numbers. I think for me, to an extent, I'd say actually Oblak is overrated, but that's my opinion. Honestly, Courtois, excellent shot stopper, but he's not that good in the ball. But if Maresca, if he had either of the two goalkeepers you've mentioned there as his goalkeeper, he'd work with them. But when he gets the opportunity, he'd switch things around quickly because that aspect of playing out from the back is very important to the way he likes to approach the game. But let's hear from Dante his opinion on your question.
Yeah, Quartar, yeah, we know he's not very good with his feet. He can do the basics, and Oblak as well. He's probably a little bit. He's definitely better. Um, yeah, look, they probably wouldn't. Oblak probably would out of all those ones. Oblak would probably suit the most because he's not bad at playing out from the back. But again, you haven't really seen him get pressured that much. The way Atletico Madrid play, I get how teams play against them. You haven't seen him in the Premier League. Premier League is a different beast. It's not the same. So until you actually see them in the Premier League, you don't know. They don't face that pressure. Uh, Courtois, we've seen in the Premier League, he's not good, but we played very differently when he was here. We did not build up from the back. It
I
was
mean,
very
it was
different.
mainly
So
about just stop the ball from getting into the
just
net.
do your goalkeeping duties.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to. Don't worry about playing it. That was very different. No, he would not suit Maresca's system at all. Oblak a little bit, but even no, he would struggle because, like I said, Premier League very different. The pressure and the speed is very different. So no, those they don't really suit. That's why Sanchez suits it very well. Of course, we know his problems. It's not really ball playing; it's more IQ. Where in certain situations he switches off.
And if we're talking about ball playing, that includes distribution.
It includes distribution, of course.
Yeah,
And
the
he's very
goalkeeper.
good at
This
that,
this is,
Sanchez.
and the ball playing goalkeepers. If you look at their numbers, they're able actually to assist goals.
And we saw that against Milan.
Exactly. See that again. If Robert Sanchez, he's always been good at orchestrating long balls, which is, you could say, his ability in that aspect was the reason why we were able to get that first goal against PSG.
Correct. And PSG as well. Correct.
Exactly.
He's been given.
So I wouldn't go to the extent of saying that footy aspect of the goalkeeping department is overhyped. No, it's not. It's actually a tactic.
It is a tactic. Yeah, 100%.
But go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been given free reign to do that now because we've got different profile of strikers that can hold the ball up. You can go long. You can go long to Delap. He's going to fight for that ball, be physical, and hold it up and bring it down. João Pedro does the same. He can compete for that ball. He's quite tall, even though he's not that strong. He doesn't look strong, but he's actually very strong. So he's quite a physical player, the way he plays and how he positions his body. So yes, we have that option now. So yeah, definitely. Look, Sanchez is a very good ball playing goalkeeper, but we know his problem is not the ball playing ability most of the time. It's his IQ, how he does it. So, but he's improved. Like we said earlier, Bobby said it. He's improved, and he deserves his flowers because he's improved quite a lot. And he's earned that right now to have another go at it. We'll see what happens in 12 months' time, 6 months. But yeah, he's definitely deserved that at the moment.
Yeah, I think we've come to the natural end of this particular episode of the Blue Morning Show, Bobby, except if you have anything else to add. If not, it's been an excellent discussion. Samo Ono, thank you so much for joining. You're the top contributor today, and I appreciate you. Unfortunately, we have to, again, call it a day. We have other things to do. Sam Ono, I hope to see you next time here. And for Cole Palmer, thank you for joining the conversation. Who else was here? And Vic. Yeah, they say lateness is greatness, but in your case, lateness isn't greatness. It's just lack of discipline. And Kevin Morilla, thank you so much for joining and for the suggestion. We'll see. We'll try the landscape of streaming and see how that works out. And of course, Emmanuel Moluba, Liberian bro, I do hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. I want to say thank you to the captain of the community, Constantine Dentu. And our senior panelist, Bobby, thank you so much for finding the time to be part of the conversation. I appreciate you all. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chants, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Reetz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford Breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue.